Hello everybody, just listen to this.
Now if we think about it, we're not born as friends of God because we're born as sinful offspring of Adam. Actually, if you think about it, we're born as enemies of God. Sometimes you'll hear people say of a little baby, look at that little angel. But more accurate would be to say, look at that little enemy of God.
Right, okay. Steven Lett, the same guy came up with this chestnut.
So the events unfolding around us are making clearer than ever that we're living in the final part of the last days, undoubtedly the final part of the last days, shortly before the last day of the last days.
Right, it's just incredible. This, obviously, he came out with this, that babies are enemies of God recently. I don't know what it was on. I think he's wearing his convention badge. I put up the video to show you, but the last time I put up a video of Steven Lett, the Watchtower actually had it taken down. And I had a copyright strike against me, so I pretend not to use the video, just the audio. It's because I don't want the channel taken down for obvious reasons. I've got to think about my legacy. Yeah. Anyway, yeah, it's astonishing. What does this mean? You know, in relation to babies are born as enemies of God, that means that in the Jehovah's Witness world now, they're actually doing a whole new range. They're going to struggle. They have to make their own new range. Say a special card when somebody gets born that you can give them and say, "It's a boy." Another little enemy of God, or congratulations, it's a girl, another little enemy of God. It's just, I don't get it. At the end of the day, I'm not going to spend all my time looking at convention videos, and you know, Workshire Evans did spend all the time doing that, which maybe explain why he's gone completely mad. And if you involve yourself watching so much witnessing material and then just that is your life, I don't think it's a good thing personally, which is why I'm trying to remove myself from it, because any time I used to do that a lot was when I obviously watched Workshire Evans's sort of cut down videos of segments, and I'm not thinking, why am I doing this? Because it was just making me more and more angry. And I took myself out of all the Facebook groups because it was obvious that most of them were populated by people who are the admins and moderators, are people who are supporters of Workshire Evans, who are actually Lloydists. And they sort of put up more stuff of him after his magnificent comeback. And then when I took objection to this, then I got involved in these tirades of abuse from people, and I was commenting, and it went on. Basically, you're just involved in a sort of to and froing with several different people, all liking each other's comments about how great Lloyd is and how bad I am. And I just thought, you know what, life's too short to live, so don't do this. So as a result, I've come out of all the Facebook pages, but occasionally something will come up on my Twitter feed as that Steven Lett one did there. The reason why I thought I'd talk about it, because it just, the reason why I thought about it a lot is because of this thing about the fact that clearly him, and when you see all the things that Tony Morris has said and all the rest of them, clearly explains to me that they're completely mad. There's no way I can explain this. There must be some sort of mental illness here to explain why these people come up with things that they say. The thing is, Lett's speaking from an autocue, just like myself. Sorry, I'm totally joking there. I don't have an autocue. I don't have any notes. Hence why I make several mistakes, but hey ho. So Lett has an autocue. So obviously, some point he must have, written down what he wanted to say, because I don't think he's just making up on the spot, a bit like me. And then he's giving that over to somebody who's going to sort of digitise that, so that they're going to read that, and and then on the day of the convention it comes up, so Lett can speak without looking at his notes all the time. The thing about it is, the people who are doing this. So I've got sorry for the coughing, but I'm suffering from the last batch of COVID. I could never get rid of this cough, unfortunately. Call it lung COVID, I don't know. But anyway, I've never got rid of it. So, what's it on about? Oh, Steven Lett. So basically, somebody would have had to get hold of Brother Lett's notes and just went through. So, yes, doing that. What the what? Enemies of what the? And then he pulled over a mate. Look what Brother Lett's written here. Look here. Children could be referred to as little enemies of God. And then, of course, the person next to him goes, what the? So, and of course, they daren't speak against these guys because, of course, they believe, like Lett believes, and all the rest of the governing body members, that very shortly, because we are in the last days of the last days, the last days, the last days, shortly before the last days, or however it goes. I did just play it, but I can't remember already. And they believe that Lett and chums are going to be going upstairs just before Armageddon. And of course, at that point, they may find out who within the Bethel has been talking about them. So of course they're thinking, no, we better not say anything about Brother Lett or Brother Morris, because they may in turn have a ball of fire sent my way. For actually, calling this guy out for being a complete lunatic. And I've said this before, and I'll say it again, but at the end of the days, when I left the witnesses, whenever it was, 23 years ago, all the governing body members that I knew, well, I didn't know them personally, obviously. Well, one of them was in part of the next door congregation, but they were all in the 70s and 80s. And this was in the 1980s. They were all in their 70s then, going on to their 80s in the 1990s when I left. So this is the 80s and the 70s then. And by that time, the number had been sealed. There was no more need for any more people to come along and say, hi, I've been chosen by God to be king and priest with Christ in heaven, and actually be in the presence of God. That there was no necessity for that. The necessity came along because, of course, these ones died, and the governing body members, by some sort of rule, have to be anointed. So, of course, all of a sudden, the people like Lett and Morris, who are whatever they're now in the 70s or 80s, we're talking about in their 80s, which is the 1980s, which is 40 odd years ago. So it means that when they were in their 40s, going onwards, I don't think they were taking the emblems in their 40s. I don't see it. And it's funny now because we haven't had the new figures yet of the last memorial. Well, if they have, I've missed it. I might have missed it. As I don't follow, I don't know. But I would have thought the memorial figures have gone up yet again. And this is bizarre, isn't it? Because it's all a case of being in the right place at the right time. Because if all of a sudden, if you're somebody in an obscure African congregation, and all of a sudden you just say, yeah, I've been chosen overnight, I'm absolutely convinced I've been chosen to be a king and priest with Christ in heaven, people are going to say, this guy's completely lost the plot. And if it's a servant or an elder or an elderly sister, or maybe a young sister in, I don't know, another obscure country, the same thing. Oh no, clearly signs of dementia, mental illness there. But if you are residing in the Bethel in America, and you've been pioneering or done a bit of circuit work or missionary work, but you're now residing in Bethel, and all of a sudden you announce one morning, hey ho, I've been chosen. Everybody goes, what wonderful news, brother. What wonderful news. You clearly aren't mad. Despite the fact that, there's since the first alleged members of the 144,000 were picked back in Pentecost of 33 CE, that literally billions of people have lived on this planet since. Literally, and there's billions living on this planet right now. And within the Jehovah's Witnesses, there are millions of Jehovah's Witnesses. Yet these guys think that overnight, somehow, God's Spirit has convinced them that they are set apart from anybody else, even when the number had been fixed a long time ago. That obviously, subsequently, since that number has been fixed, that some of these elderly ones have become unfaithful. I don't know how that one works. Maybe how we gambling problem. Oh, gambling's allowed now again. Maybe they went to Thailand with Workshire Evans. I don't really know, but apparently they've had to take on a whole load of new people, only because it doesn't sit well when the governing body members are no longer spirit anointed. Because if they are no longer spirit anointed, and think about this, this is going to go on and on and on, because we all know Armageddon is not going to come. We all know that. And this overlapping generation will continue to overlap. It'll be the overlapping generations. And the thing is, of course, these old dudes are going to pass on. And they have to be replaced by spirit anointed ones. The reason being, obviously, is because the Jehovah's Witness congregation has to be seen that it is being controlled by spirit anointed ones. The moment they've all shuffled off and said, that's it, there's none left, all of a sudden, the organisation is no longer being influenced or controlled by ones who are going to go into the heavens. All of a sudden it's just a bunch of earthly guys. And all of a sudden that sort of thread of revealing of new truths, that sort of continual dripping, and it is dripping, like it was a waterfall at first, but now it's like dripping, of new truths will end, because obviously it won't be revealed, these thoughts won't be revealed to just members of the great crowd. It can only be revealed to twats like Lett and Morris and co. So that's why this is going to go on and on and on. It's just bizarre. What do we say? How are they going to explain this one then? When this lot die off in the next 10 years, and then all of a sudden we start getting new guys coming in, and all of a sudden, they started taking the emblems in 2019 or 2010, and you're thinking, how did this happen? Why was a replacement needed? What happened to Lett and Morris? What were they up to? Bottlegate, maybe that finished him off. It's this sort of thing. Which just perpetuates the myth that the congregation is being actually run by Jehovah God, when it's clear when you look at people like Lett coming out with outlandish things like this, and it is outlandish, it is ridiculous, that it's just a bunch of lunatics who've taken over the asylum, and they're basically, because they've been put into that position, they can literally get away with saying anything they like, and all the witnesses go, oh well, yes, Brother Lett can't be wrong, because he's like the mouthpiece of God. God's Spirit works through him. He's a mouthpiece of God. So we've got to listen to what this complete lunatic has to say. And the thing about it is, all the Jehovah's Witnesses go on, well, yeah, I've heard them when I've been there, when I've approached the Carters. Brother Lett's a lovely brother. Brother Lett's a lovely brother. And all of the rest of them, they're all lovely brothers. And the end of the day is, how can anybody really think that these are lovely guys when these lovely guys here believe in their hearts, because they're completely mental, that prior to Armageddon they're all going to go upstairs and then they are personally going to take part in this global slaughter of 7 billion people. They are going to personally kill witnesses' own children who are disfellowshipped or fell away. They're going to kill the unbelieving husband of a witness wife, even though he supported the family and was never opposed, but because he never took the truth and remained a Protestant or a Catholic or an atheist, he's going down with a ball of fire from Brother Nice Lett, Rubber Lips Lett. And the lovely Muslim family too, been really helpful to the sister. She got older and did the shopping for us. Yes, Brother Lett's going to wipe them out in a ball of fire too, and so it goes on. The disfellowship husband is going to get wiped out. Disfellowship parents, you name it, they're all dying from lovely Rubber-faced Lett and Morris and chums. This is the lovely nice brother. But when they go to heaven, boys and girls, they are going to become mass murderers. And this is ironic, because I did a video not so long ago about the resurrection of the righteous and the unrighteous, and I said probably Ted Bundy, the serial killer, will be coming back. And it's ironic that Ted Bundy will be brought back, and yet him being a serial killer will be nothing compared to Morris and Steven Lett. They will be prolific serial killers, sort of mass, literally, I hate to think what the personal count of the people these guys are going to kill at Armageddon is, but they, obviously, it's billions of people, so my God, they must be going, you know, creating all sorts of things to just wipe out billions of people. Yeah, lovely, isn't it? So just imagine that, as I said before, how crazy you must think that of all the billions of people who lives, that you have been personally selected by God. There must be, you know, literally people who are experts in mental health and psychological issues, and psychiatrists, so forth, would have a field day trying to examine these guys and the things they come out with, and thinking what they actually think of all the people that have ever lived in the earth since day one, that only they and the other 144,000 are going to go to heaven. It's extraordinary. And of course then take part in the spectacular slaughter of billions of people who failed to make the cut because they were Muslims or what have you. Anyway, that's all I have to say about the subject. One slight thing I want to mention is that the problem when you do videos like this, and I you know, a lot of people do comment on them, and I don't know who these people are because obviously they have lots of different identities, and well, okay, that's good for them. I don't even reveal, I only accidentally slipped my first name not so long ago because I didn't really want people telling me. I'm not going, you know, hi, I'm Lloyd Evans, you know, I don't care, I don't want people to really know who I am, but obviously people do know who I am because actually some people watch these videos who've known me for a long time. But obviously there are other people who put comments on them and it's their name or whatever, and I don't know who these are. And there's one particular guy, I don't know his real name, but needless to say is he has numerous social media accounts, and Musician with Vision, I think, or is one of his YouTube things. And he has a Twitter account with like numerous things, and he does music on SoundCloud. And on one of his own videos, one of the numerous songs he's put up, he actually uses one of his other identities to just actually so bum himself up, saying this piece of music is the greatest piece of music since sliced bread was invented, but it's him, you know, making himself look more important and relevant than actually is by using an alias to, you know, to actually make himself look better than it actually is. That reminds me of somebody else who obviously does this. I think when the Patreon numbers started dropping, I'm sure our Workshire Evans, you know, started then creating more Patreon members to try and, you know, put them up by just, you know,
Jehovah's Witnesses.
oh! Can I stand that voice now? And let's just have a quick, let's have a look. What's he down to now? Oh, 472. So it went from like 500, 499, 497, I think last time I looked. Then it dropped to I think 469, but it's rallied a bit. It's like 472. Maybe, like I said, he's created a few. He's now he's obviously, I think he's got his own aliases to just prop it up. But so we're not seeing any green shoots of recovery on the Patreon page, are we, Workshire Evans, at all? But anyway, getting back to this other guy. So basically, he's just completely unhinged. He's lost the plot, and he's just started saying so many weird things. I was thinking this guy is probably mentally not well. Because I said that and suggested that he should maybe go and see somebody, apparently that's me bad. And then he said I was just as bad as Lloyd Evans. Oh, I said his name there, shit. And I was just as bad as Workshire Evans, and he was going to bring both me and him down. OMG. And then of course he started tweeting to the Magnificent Seven screenshots of conversations I had with him. And it was just bizarre. It was just bizarrest thing. It was like really odd. And this was going on just 2 nights ago till it got to the point, and I don't like blocking anybody on Twitter, but I had to block him because of the things were coming up were so abusive. He actually put on his SoundCloud that his next song was going to be about me and Workshire Evans, about Workshire Evans was going to take me on a trip to Thailand because I look the type. And then he started messaging, he started doing tweets on the Magnificent Seven, doing screenshots of conversations we had. And he actually said on the last one, this is an hour ago, It says, I am letting you know this information about your hashtag your allies. All the screenshots, video hashtag Neil Gardner, who he doesn't like either, created, are all, now this is the ironic thing here, this is the guy who did this video called These Are the Last Days of Lloyd Evans. It's pretty awful, but anyway, if you're into sample music, you'll actually love the musician with no vision. But anyway, he did this song called We're in the Last Days of Lloyd Evans, and I was saying we're actually in the last days of a musician with no vision, because in my case, I think if anybody does a lot of sample music, they're not really a musician. However, he was at pains to say that he can actually play a guitar, but no proof of that. I want to see the video. But anyway, he actually said, and after going on about saying, yeah, really don't like Lloyd, blah, 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 you're just as bad as him, blah, 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 blah. He then goes on and says, all the videos and screenshots, so all the screenshots and a video, hashtag Neil Gardner, created, are all to be handed to hashtag Lloyd Evans. So he can prove your associates, and he's referring to the Magnificent Seven here, are just as vindictive, just as guilty of hashtag inciting hatred, trashing others as he is and then he mentions this is one person he directly was addressing, and of course that person's actually had to block him as well, because his tweets are just going completely unhinged. So basically he starts off not liking Lloyd Evans, then he starts to not like me, and then now he's going to screenshot all the conversations that I've had with him and Neil, apparently a video of Neil as well, and then he's going to send them to the guy he doesn't like to prove that all us lot are just as vindictive as he is. No, I again, you know, a psychiatrist or psychologist would absolutely have a field day with this guy. He's completely odd, and on his different numerous social media things he has, on SoundCloud, Twitter, Facebook, you know, he's all over the place. In one place he says he's from Crewe. Now Crewe's in Staffordshire, right? He's in Crewe. I think maybe he might be from Crewe. But another one says he's actually in Greece. So I did this song called, you know, it went like, it was a football chant. It's going, and it's on about this, referencing which are you on, in Greece or Crewe, you know which one, which place you're actually from. And then he goes on to say that somehow I am trying to stalk him and find out where he really lives. I don't care where this guy lives. He's probably watching this video. I don't care. Honestly, live in Greece, live in Crewe, or live in, the moon. I don't really care. I'm not trying to stalk you. I've blocked you because I don't want to hear any more of you, because you're probably announced that you've been chosen by God to be a king and priest with Christ in heavens, because you're that sort of losing the plot. But anyway, it's bizarre. The internet can be a dangerous place sometimes with people who can be very dangerous and spend far too much time on this. Well, maybe I do. But anyway, I just thought I'd just do this video, and thank you for the suggestions again on the potential new title for Workshire Evans' new book. I've thought about it before, and I've thought of a whole load of new ones, but I'll probably do a video more near the time as we get more progressive updates from Twitter on Evans about how his book is going, or maybe other things that will happen in the interim. So we're still waiting, of course, to find out what's happening with the litigation against the Magnificent Seven, and that's gone very quiet all of a sudden, but the wheels of justice are turning slowly in Croatia. Anyway, have a great day. I'm off today, thank God. I was working yesterday. I'm actually doing nothing today, but sorting out a few odds and bods and stuff, so hopefully the sun's going to come out, because the sun has been in short supply in southwest Scotland the whole of spring and summer. It did come out yesterday for 15 minutes when I got home, and then it came out a magnificent sunset. And I guess it was a case of, and this is what you could have had if only it had been a blue sky. But anyway, see you later. Bye bye, and enjoy your day. Oh dear.